the suit of swords. Here we have the Ace of Swords. It's so clear, it's so simple. We have the divine hand, and we have the single sword thrust upwards. These little symbols here, you'll find them on the Moon card, the Tower, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups. They're yods, and they're a blessing. And the sword is thrust through the material crown. What it's saying is that truth, logical mind, honesty can thrust through the material world and can create, here we have an olive branch for peace and a laurel branch for victory. Think of the Emperor's new clothes. Think of everybody saying and agreeing they could see the Emperor's clothes when he was naked, and it was that one child that spoke the truth and everyone woke everyone else up. This is when you speak your truth, when you look beyond illusions, delusions, when you look through people's words. This is when you're true to your word. This is also, probably most importantly when I read for clients, having a clear plan. I don't know about you, but when I get up in the day and I've got a dreamy mind full of everything I hope to achieve, chances are I won't achieve any of them. If I get up and I know that today, and I've got a numbered list and I work through it, I'm liable to achieve them. The Suit of Swords, whenever you see a sword in the Rider-Waite deck or similar decks, it represents your logical mind, communication, thoughts, words. Now, I guess most people, when they think of the Suit of Swords, think of the 8, the 9 and the 10. You'd be amazed at the number of times that the 8, the 9 and the 10 will all come up in one reading very, very close together, because it's like a domino effect. Once you get to here, once you are trapped by either your thoughts or someone else's thoughts or someone else's words, you know you're trapped. There is movement here. See, there's a gap. See, there's the water. She's still in connection with her emotions. You can see her feet. There is a suggestion that she appears to be looking beneath the blindfold. This is when you think, oh, I really want to do that, but I think I'm a bit too old, I'm not sure I've got the right experience, you know, my mother, my brother, my husband doesn't think I can manage it. You really want to commit or try something or do something, but you talk yourself out of it. If you keep doing that, then we get to this. The Nine of Swords, arguably the darkest, harshest and most difficult card in the deck. And I know, because I've been stalked by this card often enough. This is when your thoughts, or maybe someone else's thoughts, or maybe someone else's words, but almost always it's your thoughts, completely paralyse you. You are lost. Your head constantly goes round, thinking through. Maybe it's depression, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's sort of almost like a panic or a paralysis. Yes, it can be abusive relationships, but almost always it comes from the person I'm reading for. You can't think your way out of this. The whole point with the Suit of Swords is you're meant to take action. You're meant to follow through to the next suit, which is Pentacles. You're meant to act on your thoughts, not hoard them. You cannot think your way out of this card. And if we look here at the quilt, we have red roses. Now, red roses represent our physical body. You have to get up and do something, even if it's only make a list. End up with one thing you're going to do today, and one thing you're going to do tomorrow, and one thing you're going to do the day after. And also sometimes, we've got astrological glyphs here, you simply have to accept that this will pass. We all get like this sometimes. But if you want it to pass more quickly, you have to get back to here. You have to write a list, make a phone call, talk to somebody. You have to act. Now, the Ten of Swords is one of those, what I would call a neutral card. To me, this is quite a positive card. His fingers are making the sign of the blessing, which you can also see in the Hierophant. There's almost here a giving up, a release, a forgiving himself. I see this as this blessing symbol as him forgiving himself. I know that this, depending on the question, could represent someone else stabbing you in the back. But the vast majority of the spreads I do are about the person I'm reading for. This can be anger, this can be temper tantrums, but more often than not, this is about letting go of those harsh thoughts. And when you acknowledge, when you finally realise that you've been the one trapping yourself in indecision and fear, it hurts. But I do see this, I would say 95% of the time, as a positive card. Look here, I don't care whether the sun is rising or the sun is setting. There is a change. Look at the water. Water, swords need emotion. Anybody who is too logical, who lacks that passion, that emotion, it becomes cold and hard. This is a good card. This is letting go. This is 10, of course, is 1 and a 0. This is starting again. I have known people on more than one occasion get the 8, the 9 and the 10. And their faces look a bit glum because they're not the prettiest of cards. And what I say then is, this doesn't mean there is anything wrong in your life. This means you're worrying about what could be wrong in your life. I read for a lady who had these cards to represent her financial situation. I shuffled my second deck, I laid again, I got the 10 of swords again. She looked really very worried. I said, these are all swords cards. These all represent your mind. You're worrying. Go away, open your bills. She came back to see me 3 months later and she was cheerful as anything. And I said, what's changed? And she said, absolutely nothing, but I took the time to look at my bills and I'm not flush, I'm not rich, but I just about have enough. And I was panicking that I didn't. So if you get these cards, don't let it make you more worried. Release yourself from the worry. Look at the problem honestly and deal with it.